Hey everybody, it's me, Lisa, with Lisa's Journey. Um, it's been brought to my attention, in, well, I guess probably within the last year, um, during my time of, talking to God and, the questions I ask and all that. um, there's a prayer that was I gifted to me, or I asked, and you shall receive. And it's a very powerful prayer, and people talk about, unanswered prayers and, why didn't God hear me? And, it all has to do with, you know, honesty, and, you know, with the heart. And I guess see, when I was little, I seen what I thought was a lot of unanswered prayers, you know? And I was like, why? But now in hindsight, I see that it wasn't unanswered prayers. It was kind of like, I was asking wrong. Like, for instance, oh, Lord, give me that $20 an hour job, where I can, have money to pay my bills. Well, that's exactly what I got. And I was like, oh Lord, this job is killing me. I'm about to have a nervous breakdown. There's all the bills. Oh my gosh, I've never seen so many. And it's like, what happened? Well, I got what I asked for. $20 and more bills. So I just kind of like sat back. I, didn't know what to do. I didn't know, do I pray? And, how do I go about, I don't want to be, kind of pummeled and, with all the, the whatever. I was just, So through the Course in Miracles, I was, learning how to ask, and it was kind of funny because, it made a lot of sense to me. And I'm not trying to herd everyone into the Course in Miracles. It's a way that opened doors for me. It was meant for me. There is many other pathways, into the light. Just because I chose to, the Course in Miracles and the books that followed, that was my own path, and God was leading me. I would ask for the guidance and, to books and people. And that's how I found my spiritual teacher, and when I say teacher, it's not like, we're taking tests and cramming, it's just talks, the guy, he lives his Christ life the best that he can. And, what he's being told is to counsel others, to help others. And so he channels, he just channels God. And, they call it church or something. It's like, that's no different, than what's going on right here. He's shining his Christ light and I'm shining mine. But in none of these videos, I want to come across as threatening or it's the only way or whatever, because it's not. We're all, on the path. And I'm just sharing with you what has worked for me. And before I started making this video, I was asking God, is like, how do I go about, approaching, the audience, the people that are watching this video. And once again, I'm shown small children, innocence, love, understanding, and trust, and, how would you tell your son? How would you explain to your son? And I was like, oh, okay. Luckily, I was going to say, luckily he knows my Navy mouth. But then I'm thinking, well, I don't know if I should actually say that. And occasionally I do say curse words and stuff, but, that's just, I don't know. I try to not say, the more shocking ones. But it's kind of funny because the first thing, that you're supposed to ask yourself when, something like that is like, somebody say, damn, you said damn. Well, why are you reacting that way? What's going on? Where's that judgment, And it's so funny how we jump like that, just all of a sudden we're judging somebody, or, it's like, whoa, wait a minute, brakes, and just, it's nice to be able to see, for many years, just not being aware of the power of your mind, your thoughts, thoughts are things, look around, we created this. In truth, it's just me, and I am sitting here talking to myself. Or it's just you. It's all interdimensional and just wow. But there's so many things I want to share with you guys, and today, seeing how it's only 7 minutes, I'm going to try to get it under 30 minutes, so let's see how well that works. Anyway, so I asked God, I'd been using the Hawaiian prayer, the Ho'oponopono prayer, I think is how you say it. And it is, thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me. And those statements, whatever's coming up or whatever you're trying to work through or whatever, you would, use those words as a root to whatever, you're trying to forgive. And another part is, I forgive myself, I forgive my brothers and sisters, and I forgive this world. As the parts that have become a comfort to me, that's kind of built a base to the prayers I have come to use on a regular basis. And they seem to work really well with me. And so, they may help, or help you to open up more to God and allow them to help you illustrate your own, special prayer or forgiveness. But okay, we're now on 9 minutes, so let me get to it. Okay, so this is a prayer I say for roadkill. And how I came about it was I was cruising along and I was feeling really great, and I'd done a lot of forgiveness work, and I was feeling lifted. I was, in a ascended state. And I kept seeing dead things. I was like, is it a full moon? What happened? And finally, it was like my Indian guide just kind of, breezed through my awareness, and was showing me how the mother had given the Indians a prayer to say over the animals they killed to help release their spirit back to God. Woohoo, here comes the chills. So this means this is good for everybody. Wow, full body chills. You see those chills? Chill bumps. Ooh, let's see, can you see them? No, I can see his hair. But, anyway, so I was like, God, why am I seeing all these, dead things? And then I was seeing an Indian brave, kneeling down, pulling his arrow out of what looked like a deer. And he was placing his hand on the chest of the dead deer, bowing his head on one knee, and saying a prayer. And in a psychic light, it's like you see the soul lift out of that critter and like a balloon go to God. And while I'm seeing this, I'm being told, the Indians were given this prayer to where, if the animal dies suddenly, like people, it's like, wait a minute, am I dead? I'm not sure. And they roam just like people do. So there's, all these little souls, just kind of stuck. They're not sure what's going on. They think they're alive. Just like the way that, our souls, may get confused after death. And so that's what was being shown to me. And I was like, wow, a prayer, over the animals. And then in the next second, I was shown traffic, big cities and, critters and, just plowed over, years and years and years and years and years. It wasn't showing the impact. It was just showing, we've all grown numb to the dead critters. You can't even identify them. They lay there for months, and the buzzards pick at them, and I tend to not look, and that's the way we've grown to be. And then there's other times where the road crew, I guess, scrape them up before you get there, and you come across this big old bloody mess all over the highway. It's like, wow, goodness sakes. And I'm being shown that. And then in the next moment, I'm seeing all these little critters just lining the highways. Their little spirit bodies. Just roaming close to where their body was, maybe out there in the field. And, maybe some of them did. Go, hey, wait, go to the light. But generally, they're shocked. They're not out there going, okay, I'm ready, okay, hit me. All of them are traumatized. And so I'm being shown, my Indian guide showing me how I can say a prayer for all these little roadkill, birds and mice and, everything. Any little hump in the road, feathers or fur, I can say this prayer for them and help to release, their soul back to God. And, just like during the pandemic, yes, that was something, but it was something during that time, did you notice, it was the old, it was that energy, you know, those generations. And it was, a lot of that energy was lifted off of the earth. And then there's, more light coming after. Look at how things have changed since the pandemic. And everybody's like, oh, we're just getting back to, but, almost in some ways, it's kind of better. People are, realizing that they don't want that 9 to 5 and they don't want to be away from their family. We were all quarantined together and we remembered we loved each other. And, the saying, we're all in this together. You would not, I ain't going to say it like that, but it means more than just what it's been labeled as. Because we are all in this together. And so, in this, I want to share the prayers, that help me, and this little prayer for, the roadkill, I found it actually really does lift their little spirits. Because what I say is, I'll see a little critter on the road, and I see it in my Christ mind. I'm looking, with the thought of, you're not really dead, Lazarus, wake up, kind of, that was in the Bible of, bringing what's his name back to life. And I didn't read cover to cover. Oh, well, I did read cover to cover Bible, but I don't know. I argued with a lot of it. And so, but there are parts, there was a reason why I did that. That way, I could, have that in my vocabulary and my knowing to use in moments like this, to get an understanding, which is, it's like, wow, that's cool. So back to, your your mind, is very powerful, and, put your mind in, the state of divine love, ask God to help guide you, help you to say, the things that you should say, and help you not to say the things that you shouldn't say. And, in that, it's like, wow, okay, there's a dead skunk. It's like, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you and thank you. And when I'm saying that, I'm going, I love you. You're a little critter of the light. And, I'm thinking like along those lines, but whatever, it's all feeling, and it's divine love and all, intention to help send this little critter home. I'm not on every road out there, and every time I say a prayer, for the little critters, I'm, trying to say a prayer for all of them out there to help all of them, find their way. But let me get with it. It's 19 minutes, and so, okay, there's a dead skunk, okay, so I'm like, I'm sorry, so I'm sorry, that this has happened to you along those lines, okay, I'm sorry, okay, I'll say it like I'm passing it by, okay, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, and thank you. I see your light, and I surrender you back to God. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Go to the light, little critter. Go to the light. Yes, yes, yes. And see, I just got chills. Just saying that. For that little imaginary skunk. But, who's to say there wasn't a little skunk that got squashed there? Or, wow. But I apply that with every little critter, and so, right, it's really simple. And, divine love just, touch the light. And when you're saying it, I'm sorry, I'm sorry this has happened to you. And please forgive me. Forgive me for needing to see your squished little body, to help me to learn something about either I was driving too fast, I need to pay attention, oh, I'm glad I didn't hit that little critter, or, oh my gosh, that could have been a child, whatever, please forgive me. I'm sorry. That's self-explanatory. I love you, and that's self-explanatory too. And when you say it, just feel a warmth in your heart, like you're handing him a big O, heart, just a balloon of warmth and healing, and just that state of mind, and you can say it slow and until, it becomes something, that's really quick, because once you get used to it, you can kind of, as long as you're staying in touch with the energy, the meaning and the intention, and you're not just rushing through it, like, the way people say, yeah, their dinner prayer, thanks for the grub, amen, just intention and love in your heart, so I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. And thank you. And thank you, it just means thank you for, being that little critter that said, yeah, I'll be that person or that critter that gets squashed and, to help these people learn, and so thank you. And then I was guided to go and, see that little critter laying there. And, you say, I see your light. And mean it and feel it, And if you don't actually see it, just imagine, in your mind's eye that little dead thing just burst into an orb of the whitest, light. And I see your light. And I surrender you to God. Bless you, bless you, bless you. And I surrender you to God. You can lift your hands if you feel, or just, I give you to God. And, just imagine, they're like just going, I give you to God. And then I bless you, bless you, bless you. And then, you're blessing their spirit and mean it. Because I was saying, bless you, bless you. And I was kind of nudged. This is okay. Are you believing it? When you say bless you, are you believing in your own blessings? And I was like, wow. Because I had kind of, went a little numb to, and so the guidance is awesome. And so, I look and I say, I see your light. And I surrender you to God. And, I see the orb. And then, bless you, bless you, bless you. Go home, little critter, go home. And in that moment, when I say, go home, little critter, go home, in my mind's eye, I see that deer or that skunk or that dog, cat, whatever it was, come up on their knees, and stand up, like a glowing light all around their perfect bodies. And then it's, kind of like, what you see on Harry Potter, where it's like, they just dancing across the sky, this little animal spirit running across the sky up to God. Oh, here comes the chills again. And And I just kind of, finished it off, with, bless you, bless you, bless you. Thank you. I love you. And in that moment, it's like I felt like an echo is what I've grown to understand what I'm feeling. Before I was like, oh gosh, where's the heart peels? There's a thump. But I noticed it. It was like right after or during, me saying that prayer for that little critter on the side of the road, that I feel that ping, in my heart. And I asked God, I'm like, what is that? And she said, you just sent a little critter to heaven. You sent it back home. And that ping is to let you know that that little critter was right there waiting for you. It was waiting to go home. And sometimes, I'll pass the same little dead thing, 2 or 3 times, and sometimes I'll get another ping like, maybe, I don't know. Maybe it decided, I don't know, maybe I'll just hang out. Or maybe, my mindset or whatever, I don't know. But most of the time, after I say the initial prayer, I don't feel that ping, Sometimes, there's a thank you kind of feeling, or a little something, something, but it's not as strong as that initial release. But I'm not saying if you pass the same little critter twice, don't pray for him twice. Because I always, if I come across, or, a multitude of them, like a little family of raccoons, or, just whatever, and you can't, while you're driving 75 mile an hour bumper to bumper, you can't, go to your meditation spot or whatever. And so I say it as a Groupon, I laughed with God about it. I was like, not about death or anything, but just the fact that before you can get done with, the prayer, you've seen 3 or 4 other dead things, it's like, and Groupon, came to mind. It was like, ding, 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 Groupon, and I was like, okay. And so that kind of, it's like a wide sweep, kind of just in your imagination, you're just taking note of all those little critters, like that little whole family or whatever, and just grouping them together. I see your lights, and I send you all back to God, and just, in your mind's eye, just think to recognize, each one of them, or if you can't remember how many dead things you've seen or what they were, or just, put the little, just like a Groupon, just like, all of you guys, just all of you, the whole class, and that is very rewarding for just the experience, and there being a channeling and all that. There's been times to where I saw, a dead deer. Oh, 29. Okay, maybe we'll... Okay, well, let's go over just a few minutes. I saw this deer, and it was dead, and I was saying the prayer for it. And in, my mind's eye, I kept hearing, oh, I'm not pretty no more. Oh, and just this, this whole, oh, my beauty shot, just, and I'm like, what is going on? And so I'm saying the prayer, and I feel the energy, kind of lift, but there was something still, and so I was like, what was that all about? And the next time time I came through, I noticed that the deer had been hit and somebody had took its head. I am assuming it had horns, antlers. And that little deer, feeling damaged and destroyed, and wasn't able to identify. And I was like, oh, wow. I'm like, you are beautiful. You are beautiful. You are healed, healthy, and whole. You are home with the mother. And I said the prayer over. And I just made sure I, had a nice warm attachment to that deer's head, to reassure its little soul that it was whole, going home to Mama, to God. And that was powerful. So anytime I feel, oh, I'm not beautiful, or, it's or that kind of feeling coming across, it's happened 2 or 3 times. And it happened to be on a road I, would drive down, more than once and going to work or whatever. And the heads were gone, or the antlers were sawed off, or, I try not to look too close at, the critters, and, just, it hurts me to see them. But now, I've been gifted a prayer that can help send them home. And in that, I'm shown if all of us, every time we see one, this side of the world or the other, we can help lift them, and and in that helps us all to ascend. Lifting that energy, like with the pandemic and all the elderly, it helped to ascend, us into a higher energy, and I know a lot of people lost a lot of folks, and bless them all. Bless them for the courage of agreeing, because in the light of God, there are no mistakes and no accidents, and before we leave, and come down here, we are aware, that there's going to be 3 times, usually 3 departure points in our lives. And it's up to us to which one we pick. So, a lot of, souls want to, have meaning, like, many people, want to be remembered for something. So bless them all. And I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. And I see, the shifting of, behold, see all things new, instead of seeing the devastation of the pandemic, you can also see how it brought us a little closer together, and we need a lot of that. My head keeps doing this, but we need a lot of that. All right, well, 34 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and try to stop at that. The next little critter you see on the road, try to remember this prayer and give it a try. And if it don't work, or you feel a little awkward, or, it's you. It's all, it's your choice. But it was a gift, from God, how to use a prayer, that is thousands of years old, and, give it a little tweak to, to help with a current situation. And I also have incorporated it with my forgiveness prayer also. So Um, sure, go out there with a pure heart, just as a child, innocent love, and know that you are able to help that little critter lift into the light, that you are capable to see that little critter's light. We all have the light of God within us. And it's wonderful when we know how to use it properly or for the benefit of others. So bless you all, and you have a wonderful, wonderful day. And like and subscribe to me, because I know eventually that will count for me. Thank you very much, and bless you all. Bye-bye.